Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Hidden Historical Tales. Sit back and relax for this epic story. Have you ever heard of the White Mouse? Not a creature, but a person. A woman so elusive, so slippery, that the Gestapo, with all their might, couldn't catch her. They put a 5 million franc bounty on her head, making her their most wanted person. Her name was Nancy Wake, and she is one of the greatest heroes of World War II you probably never heard of. Born in New Zealand and raised in Australia, Nancy was a spirited, rebellious soul from the very beginning. By the 1930s, she was living a glamorous life in Paris as a journalist, married to a wealthy French industrialist, Henri Fiacca. Life was good, but then darkness fell over Europe. When Germany invaded France, Nancy didn't hesitate. She looked at the injustice, the brutality of the Nazi regime, and said, "I have to do something." She started small, working as an ambulance driver, but her courage and resourcefulness quickly drew her into the heart of the French resistance. She became a master courier, a vital link in an escape network that helped Allied airmen and refugees flee to safety in Spain. This is when she earned her nickname. The Gestapo could feel her impact. They knew someone was orchestrating these escapes, but every time they closed in, she would vanish. Like a little white mouse, she was always one step ahead. Her network was incredibly effective, but the danger was constant. Every knock on the door, every stranger's glance, could mean capture. In 1943, the net finally tightened. The Gestapo intercepted a message and were closing in. Nancy had to flee, leaving behind her beloved husband. It was a heart-wrenching decision, but it was the only way to continue the fight. Her escape from France is a story in itself. It was a brutal, 6-day trek over the Pyrenees Mountains. She was arrested multiple times, but her quick thinking and sheer determination always got her out. At one point, to prove her cover story, she had to seduce a German guard. Imagine the nerves of steel that takes. She eventually made it to Britain, but her first thought wasn't about her own safety. It was about going back. In London, her reputation preceded her. She was recruited by the British Special Operations Executive, or SOE, Churchill's Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. They trained her in sabotage, espionage, and hand-to-hand combat. One instructor said she was a very good and fast shot and put the men to shame. She learned to kill with her bare hands. She was no longer just a courier, she was becoming a weapon. In April 1944, just before D-Day, Nancy parachuted back into occupied France. Her mission was to lead a local group of 7,000 resistance fighters, the Maquis. She was their commander, their organizer, and their inspiration. Think about that for a moment. A woman, in the 1940s, leading thousands of armed men in guerrilla warfare. She coordinated supply drops, led raids on German convoys, and sabotaged key infrastructure, disrupting German communications and troop movements right when the Allies needed it most. Her leadership was legendary. During one raid on a German gun factory, her fighters came under heavy fire. To save them, Nancy single-handedly took out a sentry post with a grenade. Another time, the Resistance's radio codes were lost during a German attack. Without them, they couldn't coordinate with London. So Nancy volunteered for an insane mission. She biked over 500 kilometers through German-held territory, dodging patrols and checkpoints, to reach another Allied agent and get new codes. The journey took 72 hours. When she finally returned, she was too exhausted to speak, but she had saved the mission. She wasn't afraid to get her hands dirty. One story, which she later confirmed, tells of a time she discovered an SS spy in her camp. When her men hesitated to execute him, she took matters into her own hands. As she put it, "I was not a very nice person. War had forced her to be ruthless, to make impossible choices for the greater good." When Paris was liberated, Nancy led her fighters in a triumphant march. She had survived, she had won. But her victory was bittersweet. She learned the tragic fate of her husband, Henri. He had been captured, tortured, and executed by the Gestapo for refusing to betray her location. He never gave her up. His sacrifice was the heaviest price of her freedom and her fight. After the war, Nancy Wake became one of the most decorated Allied servicewomen. She received the George Medal from Britain, the Medal of Freedom from the United States, and the Croix de Guerre from France 3 times. Yet, for decades, her story remained largely unknown to the public. She was a woman who fought like a lion, led thousands of men, and outsmarted the entire Gestapo, all while holding on to her signature red lipstick and a glass of gin. Nancy Wake's story is more than just a war story. It's a testament to the fact that heroes come in all forms. It's about a woman who refused to be a bystander, who risked everything for what she believed in, and who proved that one person's courage can, quite literally, change the course of history. She was the White Mouse, a ghost in the Nazi machine, and a true, forgotten legend of World War II. Thank you so much for watching. If you found Nancy's story as incredible as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of forgotten heroes. Let us know in the comments what other hidden figures from history you'd like to see covered. See you next time.